GM, everybody. Happy Friday. Hi,
GM,
Shefo.
how's it going?
How's it going for you? We are back with Nouns on the Air with Optoshi and with Shefo. We're just being crazy today. We're just swapping seats. As you guys know, we are.
Is that crazy for us?
It's crazy. We are live from Indianapolis, Indiana, because we are here at VeeCon, which we have so much to talk to you about. A lot of exciting things happened last night at the opening day and party in the evening. A concert with Busta Rhymes. It was incredible.
Incredible.
So we'll touch base on that too, but just want to do a normal little check-in, like kind of how we do to settle in. It's awesome to be here. I like doing these too, like in different locations all the time, but you kind of like vibe where you want to be. That's why we switch seats. We like both at the same time. We're like, should we do different chairs?
Well, I was fine with my chair, but I had a feeling that you were like needing a switch there.
I just was naturally sitting in it all morning, getting ready for the show because we have so much to do afterwards as we go back to the event, hand out noggles, meet people, be Nounish. I have a surprise sort of merch item that I'm doing that's dropping on the final day. So we're really, really excited about that. And it's been very high energy here. We've been talking about VeeCon and what it means and that it's our first time. And now that's different. Like I get it now.
And it's a lot of people's first time.
Yep. It's a lot of people's first time. There's so many experiences that happened just last night alone and interactions with people. The gentleman sitting next to us at the concert in the very beginning when we thought we wanted to sit, we didn't want to sit at the end. We were like front row right at the stage.
Sit.
Like
they're like looking back, it was like literally like a massive concert. And if you had been sitting on one of those seats that we had originally sat in, I mean, we would have nothing.
No, we wouldn't have seen anything, but
we would have been the old people
point
sitting
being,
and not seeing anything.
Well, this guy was sitting there and we talked
like
about stuff. I gave him
this to
noggles.
Busta Rhymes.
I give the guy noggles. I asked him if he knew about the Nouns and about NFTs. And he actually said that he had been following Gary for 2 years for like being an entrepreneur and being like inspired by Gary in that sense. And then he said, okay, maybe I should check out this VeeCon. And so VeeCon kind of, because the tickets are NFTs, it forced him to get his first NFT. So I can only imagine how many people were there that this is their first NFT, and it was a ticket somewhere. Like it makes so much sense. It's so cool. It's such a great way to onboard brand new people, and it's an opportunity that's easy because we all know that you need tickets to enter places.
Yeah, you have to have something to prove that you know either paid or been given that or won it or whatever.
Yeah, and this ticket was pretty cool.
Yeah, they were cool. You should pull it up.
Yeah, I know. I really just have it on my phone. So there's like a whole app. You can connect your ticket through the app. We got our tickets super early on, like right when the date they dropped on secondary. So we basically, like from my OpenSea, I had my little ticket there.
You bought the top, didn't you?
I bought the top for the tickets. So my little tokens were sitting there. Then I register. It's mandatory to register your tickets after you have the NFT. And then you connect it to an app. And it's really cool. It's like a QR code.
It's like a moving QR code. I'd be willing to bet that it's like a reskin of token proof or something, but
let me see. It is so cool. Yeah, and it uses this like online thing. So it's just like this app and I can click on my ticket.
You walk around with your phone, just be like, here you go.
And to get into certain areas and just to get in, you just do this.
You don't have to wear
you.
A bracelet.
Yep, it like refreshes.
The thing with the phone though is you could like hand your phone to someone, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know,
but
that's selfies are on there.
That's not our problem.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. So you have to have a selfie uploaded, and so they do like scan the code and then look at you and look at the picture.
My selfie was horrible. When they pulled it up, I was just like, ooh. You had like a nice one with noggles, and I had like this full like crushed on the couch degen.
Dude, I always have the one photo of me like holding up the noggles because I'm usually wearing that and the shirt, the exact same shirt.
We need to do like some professional headshots with you doing the noggles so you can like have this like super cheesy professional headshot with noggles.
Oh my God, that would be so good. I should run the headshot AI generated that did, but then through Nouns AI.
That didn't really work too well.
I know, so scary. I posted it on TikTok. There was, I think 85 were sent to me and none of them were usable. There's like 7 fingers on them. It's really
couple
crazy.
rows of teeth like a shark.
Pretty crazy. I still believe in AI, by the way. But yeah, this ticket thing is so freaking cool. It is so cool that it's forcing people to like participate in that way. You could also, I think, like burn stuff for merch and stuff. It's such a cool onboarding event. Um, and then during Busta Rhymes' performance, it was also his birthday, and so we all sang him happy birthday. But then he gave this really heartfelt speech about Gary, like really heartfelt, uh, really just a powerful, pure moment, and all focused and centered around like positivity and coming together. And then Gary like shouted about love, and it was incredible. But this is all really important and relates to us here, Nouns on the Air and OTG. As you guys know, we are on the ground at all these different events around the year. And so it's like our goal to create some type of activation and to use these noggles somehow and to like creatively get people to learn about nouns. That's like a lot less of like, hi, do you want to buy a noun? And a lot more of like endless conversations with people, finding out what other people are into, like seeing how that could sort of work in, and like what piece and part of like this big, huge nouns pie am I going to deliver to this person based off of like what their interests are and stuff. So there's a lot of thought that goes into it. And at these events, and why going to events and being IRL is so important is because you have to be in a place where random amazing opportunities could happen. Because if anything could happen, then you probably have the power within you to make shit happen. And so this was one of those experiences. You know, we were out there. The ticket, if you were one of the first 2,000 people to register your ticket, so it's mandatory to register. They were trying to like really make sure that people were doing that so they didn't get confused when they showed up to the conference. If you're one of the first 2,000, you had a little star on yours. And so there's like an area below, like in right next to the stage, for just 2,000 people.
Seats.
Yes. And then like a whole lawn area. Thank you. I was like below the lawn. I couldn't like find the word lawn.
So it was an amphitheater.
Yes.
It was an outdoor amphitheater.
Thank you.
And there was this kind of like area off to the side where they had the refreshments and restrooms. And you kind of checked in over here. You kind of came through the snack area.
If you have the star, you can like come in right down the side. There was like chairs. People were totally just vibing, and like you could sit and like relax. At the very beginning, like when we kind of sat down, like there was like 5 people standing up on the stage. I'm like, I think that's standing room. Like we could definitely come up on the stage. We eventually definitely made our way over there.
Not on the stage, but in front of the stage.
Yeah, like up on.
Like
way up on the stage.
Where like the mosh pit area.
Yeah, like eye to eye with the security standing right there between the two speakers.
I was this far from some security guy last night, and I was just screaming those busted around. And he was a little bit buttoned up.
He was so buttoned up.
He was a little buttoned up, and the bass was so fucking loud.
Wait, that is so funny. We have literally not talked about this yet.
Is just mugging me.
Wait, no. I was like, I brought out like my TikTok live at a couple times, and it was so cool. I had like 160 people in there, so I'm just standing up front like this. Like right there, like Busta Rhymes is like right in the middle of my screen. It was so cool. Yeah. And like the security guard is like here, like like closer to me than you are right now. Yeah. Wait, and like at eye level, and I kept like doing that awkward thing where I'd be like smiling because I'm like filming, and then like looking over, and he would always be like this, and like I did my like nervous smile, you know, when like you catch eyes with someone, you just like do your like teethless smile, and he never smiled.
Never, no.
He never smiled back. That was so strange. I was just so then I was like trying to get him to smile. I'm like, no, you're not going to not smile. Like, this is going to be weird if you don't smile. And
what is weird, or trying to make him smile? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that.
There was
I took
a
that
lot
on as like a job.
going on. Yeah, that is not your responsibility, making this guy smile. That's on him.
I just want to make sure people are having a good time. Speaking of good times, Coca-Cola. Wow. Don't you love it?
You know, you
I got to work on that one, the Coca-Cola one.
You like it?
I honestly like the Mexican colas because of the real sugar, and you get them from Chipotle. This episode is unofficially sponsored by Chipotle today and Coca-Cola. So thank you so much. The water sponsors never got back to us, so we're just drinking soda now.
Switch to Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
There's a water under there. What are you talking about? It's our same water sponsors yesterday.
Oh my God. Lost my freaking train of thought because I'm thinking about this guy. I'll never get the image of him just like
So
out of my mind.
So I have a story about this guy. So all night long, I was trying to I was wearing the noggles, and first, like right on the stage, and I had another pair. Well, actually, I had these like squirrel pouches in my pocket full of noggles that kind of slowly went throughout the night. But
yeah, it's like a bigger, like puffy, like kind of not rain jacket, but like wind jacket, obey.
she was
So
like,
it had like all these like
put
pockets.
2 of them in there, and I was like, wait a second. I literally had like 10 in each pouch. And the security, they didn't care.
Yeah, I had them stuffed in my purse. They didn't care.
Yeah,
They
not
loved
at
it.
all. But the whole time I'm like, Busta, like he was just going so hard, like he wasn't like reaching down and doing that kind of thing. But then I put the noggles like on top of one of the amplifiers.
Yes,
And
I caught awesome video of that. It was
Yeah.
like Busta Rhymes right behind it, like rapping, and the fucking noggles were right there.
And
it was so
like,
cool.
I don't know if they were like kind of like vibrating, or maybe he thought they were gonna fall or some point. But
Uh-huh.
he like the security, our buddy, he like let them be up there for, I don't know, I'd say like 3 or 4 minutes. And then he like reached up and grabbed him, and I was like, wait a second, you can give me those.
I saw that. I caught on camera the security guard on the other side of the speaker doing like this.
Oh,
for the
really?
noggles.
For the noggles.
And then he was trying to like hand the noggles to Busta Rhymes, and the other guy like put his arm out
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
touching the speaker so that you couldn't like cross the line.
But I was
You know,
good.
whatever,
I
they're
didn't
doing
throw the noggles.
Shout out to I just want to make sure I got this right.
I wanted to, like,
Charles Weber.
What's up,
Charles Weber. Are you at VeeCon? Let's go. He said he got he got blue noggles from the Bud Light activation. I just got hit up by Bud Light last night. They were like, go to the booth. We have noggles. I'm like, yes. So that's
Amazing.
probably like the first place we're going to go to as soon as this stream's over. I'm so freaking excited to go back over there. And you probably were there at the Busta Rhymes show last night too. So I'm sure you have really funny stories, but that guy, so great. But
he made it. And he did his job. He was great. He was just like a stone wall.
And it was kind of like, I get it. Like he had the right earplugs, but there was another kid that was working, no earplugs. And like, it was okay for us. Like we're there for like 2 hours, but still I was just like,
I couldn't
if I
handle
permanently damaged my ears.
Dude,
like the pace was so wild that like
incredible.
you like walked by it to get closer to the front to like go in between the two speakers, and it would like blow my body just to the left and into people.
Now there is a whole point to this wonderful story. Yes. We brought the noggles.
So before all the people there, still kind of in this moment where there's maybe 30 to 40 people kind of sprinkled out in this standing room only part before the concert. The headlining acts or the opening acts hadn't even come on yet. So Gary, I was telling the story because like you got to go down the lower section if you had the star on your ticket. So other people who didn't have the star and didn't register early, like were stuck up on the lawn. So Gary kept coming out of the side of the building to probably kind of like eventually make this executive decision to like, hey, everybody come to the front. And by that time, if you had a star, like your benefit was that you kind of had the opportunity to get there early.
Yeah.
You could get one of the seats,
Yep.
you know, or the chairs up front.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it already like had its value, I believe.
Which at the end of the day, maybe that's how they'll do it next time. Is kind of like, okay, this gives you like a 1 hour window.
Yeah, that's really smart, actually.
It's so much
That's
more fair.
really smart.
Actually.
Oh, so then they make the executive decision at like before Busta Rhymes comes on. Hey, if you're up on the lawn, like come down. Hey, attention, all ushers, like everyone can come now, star or not. So it got to really fill up, and you want that.
Yeah,
you don't want
dude.
someone coming out on stage and like people are sprinkled around all over the place.
No.
It's like get as close as possible so
It's
we can
Busta
like
Rhymes.
It's Busta Rhymes. So before all that happened, when it was still just the star only time, not a lot of people happening. So he's coming out like the side and making these checks. He's surrounded by a whole team. It was really epic to see him in person. But we were literally like right there. And so the first time, like at the start, we were like seated in the seats. And like, he's like, should we go over there? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see if he comes back. And so lucky for us, like by the time we were on the floor, he did come out a second time. And he was kind of just standing there, and Grant is like, you need to go over there immediately. We have the noggles. I'm wearing a Nouns jacket. I can like show you guys what I was wearing.
And hat.
On my Twitter, and a hat. I'm very Nounsed out. I was a walking billboard for Nounsed out last night with
That's
the
just a
website
Tuesday.
like on
But yep, you were in full noun gear.
a Thursday.
Actually, and even before that, when we were getting a beer or a glass of wine, the lady came up and
Yes, recognize me from Paris.
she was actually like making a wine joke, and so I was like wine joke, and I said something funny about wine, and then she like looked up after I made my wine joke, and she noticed your Nouns outfit and was like,
Yes.
"Hey, wait!" And she knew you from Paris and blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
she's like, you were wearing a red tracksuit, and now you have the black one.
But
I was like, yes.
so you were in full recognizable attire,
Oh yeah, just as always.
and so then what happened?
So then, I'm sorry that this is a very long-winded story.
Is this how we tell stories? This is fine, though, dude.
This is how I tell stories. I feel like every moment matters. Like knowing what was happening
It sometimes
8.5
takes
minutes before this.
a few people to tell the story.
Listen, we have an opportunity again. He comes out of the side of the door. He's like leaning against the wall, checking everything out. Sun is fully up at this time. I think it's important to say. So I'm like, this is it. You hand me the noggles. I go over, and there's like just probably as far as where you guys are to us right now.
Ooh, yeah. I have
this
more
camera.
details. You were going to unwrap them. You were going to give them to him unwrapped.
Yeah, and you're like,
And
that's
I was
kind of
like,
gross.
I was like, no, give them to him at like that sanitary.
Yeah, like DJs, performers, it's kind of, you have to unwrap them to like, if someone does like take this chance and grab them, they put them on right away.
Yeah.
So you want to make it easy, but like,
Yeah.
I think it was a good call to keep it wrapped.
Yeah.
For Gary.
He can take them home.
He can take him home. Okay, so then I'm like standing as close as you guys are to me. I'm at this railing, and I just am like, look like a noun. I don't know. And I'm like waving the glasses, and I'm like, Gary, like pointing frantically at the glasses. And he just like does this, and
Yeah,
his
it was
security
one of
guard.
these-
Yeah, yes, and it was so cool. His security guard like turns around and immediately grabs the glasses and gives them back to Gary. And then like he looks down to see what it is and looks back up at me. And of course, because I'm
Yeah, he
a
made
crazy
He
person.
made the connection really quickly.
yes, and I'm like trying to like make sure like I wanted him to know that they were noggles, and so I like held up mine and I was like, "Hey, it's
And then
these."
I was like 8 feet behind you, going like this with my noggles on.
and he said, "Thank you." And I thought that that was really cool. So then, as we're sitting there, you know, I know that he interacts with people on Twitter
Yeah.
and stuff. So I just write a super heartfelt message about it of like, oh my God, I just got to give Gary noggles, and I've been wanting to do that for a year. And then I said, I'm just going to read this out loud because I actually really believe in what I said here. Oh my God, I just reached over 5,000 followers on
Amazing.
Twitter.
Congratulations.
Crazy. It was at 4999 before this space started. What did I write here? I've been retweeting all freaking day. Oh, I also like pitched myself as a speaker too. You know your girl's gonna try, okay?
Gotta try.
I said pre-opening show, Gary Vee came out to check out the venue. I've been dying to give him a pair of noggles for over a year. Thank you, Sheffo, for telling me to go for it. I waved like a crazy noun lady at him, and his security let him take a blue pair. This means so much to me. Hyper positive community events are very nounish. That's the part that I wanted to make sure I read correctly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary Vee, for onboarding so many new people into this industry through VeeFriends and truly through VeeCon, because you can kind of attend the event if you get tickets on secondary. So anyway, so I write that super heartfelt tweet, and he responds. He responds to me, "Thank you for the glasses," and then he follows me.
But it was also not even that many like minutes later. Like it was literally during the event.
It was like
It was like
I think he was behind me
he
tweeting
was
at
he was
me.
like backstage tweeting.
Yes.
Because I noticed that after the event,
And
when-
whether or not it's him doing it, a bunch of people
yeah,
doing
who
it.
knows? Who knows?
Who
but
knows?
It was awesome.
It's so cool. It's such a great, also like real life example of the exact thing that he talks about, which is interacting with people on social media.
Yeah.
You know, he's been so good about it during this whole performance. You almost think like he's like got 3 phones attached to him. Even if it's other people making sure that they capture everything, there is this like humility that he has. I've seen so many different like selfie photos with him. He is stopping on the field. He's letting people give him gifts. Like it's crazy.
Well, even as a matter of fact, when we were at the VeeCon's party the first night, on the app at midnight, at the stroke of midnight, there was an opportunity to schedule like a selfie /
Yes.
hello time with Gary,
Yes.
which we still haven't done yet. We really need to do that.
Yeah, so we can get the actual photo with the. Oh, so that's like how organic and natural this whole opportunity happened, which is like what we're talking about that happens at IRL events. But we didn't even get it on video and no photos, but it was almost like not
I was
even
about
worth.
to film like the handover, and I was like, "Ooh, that's super cheesy." I was like, "I don't."
Yeah,
wanna, like,
just be weird, like.
yeah.
But the story alone, like the tweet back. And now I'm like, my Twitter is very much, I'm always talking about communities and decentralization. We have these live streams. It would be awesome if someone from Vayner was watching us right now. We've been talking all about VeeCon even last week on the stream before we came, and we were kind of like looking at the speaker list and everything too. But the whole experience was so cool. It was like night one. I just felt like because we come to these events specifically to create these types of like moments, that was just like the ultimate winning moment as far as I'm concerned, is getting Gary V glasses or noggles, and him even like recognizing that on Twitter. And then this was my other thing I said too.
He also followed you.
Yes, and he followed me, which is so freaking cool. Let me see.
I think it's really great. It is the entire point of, what we're doing. And really and truly, those are the activation moments that they can be measured in the sense that, like, okay, like you can see how many people saw this or liked this. But it also has this immeasurability where it's like, okay, well, let's say Gary, this is all hypothetical, let's say Gary came in to the Nouns as a holder at some point in time. Like, does that equivocate to this interaction? Like, when does that equivocation, not equivocate to this action? And so if there are these things in proliferation that are impossible to measure, but that doesn't mean that you can't not proliferate. I think is really the most important takeaway for me, is that.
Well, and there's opportunities for people who are like data analysis junkies. I know that there's a lot of people that kind of are really good at that. There's an opportunity to create a system of measurement for that kind of thing, but you don't know, like
you don't really know.
And what I think is the natural way of things happening, because like unless, I don't know, AI or something was like monitoring your every move and be like, oh, this person tweeted and like it got this many things. Like we already are kind of doing that with analytics, like how many impressions. I don't know if there's not like some grand number you get for like all of your stuff. I don't know if someone's created like a program like that or something. But what I know to be true is like it is unmeasurable, but I think how we're naturally trying to describe it now to make it make sense is like social capital.
Exactly.
It's social capital. Like what's your, like, I don't know. They used to call it like clout. I know that clout has like a negative connotation to it now, which is unfortunate because I feel like when it first started, it was more of like, how big of a sphere is your influence, and not meaning like someone's thinking that they're influential or like they're above anybody, but literally based off of your social media interactions, your followers, how many people and eyes and ears are like reaching. Are you reaching when you're putting out any type of content? And Gary has been a king of content. I definitely have utilized AI to help me make like a content schedule, but with like these principles that Gary Vee and other people who are like showing us how it's done, really applying that. And that includes just like completely overwhelming people with content. Because you could put out 20 things and maybe like one thing pops up in this person's thing timeline, or two pop up over here. Like it's you can never have enough content.
Yeah.
And you're competing with tons of other people who have content. And like even specifically for this show, like as you guys know, we are on did you know we're on episode 17?
I did.
That's crazy.
Yesterday was 16. That's how it works.
Okay, so we're on episode 17, and you guys know that from day one, we have been like learning together how to do this. Like I listened back to, I think it was episode 1 or episode 2 or something. Like the sound is like wild. I'm like, maybe I should just remove this from like the audio podcast. We were trying to figure stuff out. We've learned how to go online together here on the stream. There's more ways that we can grow now and where my head's at. But what I know to be true is like, I need to be clipping all of these things. I need chapters on this. Like that's all part of this like media game and having a lot of content that's kind of like always on rotation. So I think about this all the time. I went to school for visual communications, but at a same area of like the fashion students and design students and marketing. So like lots of girls in marketing. At my school, it was Fandom, so it was like it wasn't all girls school, but there's basically like 8 dudes that went there, and they're all in graphic design. um, so what I mean is like I've kind of like avoided like marketing. I love guerrilla marketing. I love events. I love like production and that kind of stuff. Like because it's an actual thing you're producing. I don't know. There's like stuff you're doing. I love the live stream. Like I'm loving the podcast and that kind of stuff too. But I've always tried to avoid like your typical like social media marketing position. But now it's like I'm excited by it. Like it's so strange. It almost like through having all of this stuff set up, the social media part kind of has become now this like new hobby that I like. I'm like very always creatively like thinking of like little ways we can like hack stuff, and like every single social media outlet has like a different algorithm to it. And if you start like doing deep dives on it and start seeing your like count go up, like your follower account, like you know that these little tweaks are working.
Yep, for sure. I mean, there's a lot to be said for making a plan when it comes to a lot of things.
It's so key. The content calendar.
Social media.
And,
for sure.
And the fact that you can like pre-schedule stuff now.
Yep.
So easily is like, it just puts the power in your hands, because like you can then be live retweeting or live commenting, like how that happened like on my tweet with Gary. But you also, when you're out at lunch or something, or while we're live streaming, like there could be something just posting.
No,
so
for sure.
that's really important as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is kind of where people like Gary and other influencers have inherently brought the floor to, like it's kind of like the minimum that you have to do to make it in social media. You have to have like a massive presence, and you have to do it in these certain kind of ways.
You have to have presence.
Yeah, definitely. And so, having the podcast be a way to generate micro content and other opportunities that can cross platform is really wonderful. And I do think that's like a really great opportunity for Nouns on the Air.
I do too. And you know what else he says, which I so relate to, because obviously now like we're here, like a ton of Gary Vee content is like popping up in my feed. I already was like seeing like little clips of quotes he does on my TikTok. Like his content is so great for that, because he is very much an inspiring person. And so he can just clip him saying a sentence and it sounds amazing. And
That's
you're
what
like, yes.
We're going to clip up Toshi, clip Sheffo.
Yes, that's what Busta Rhymes was actually saying during his performance. He said that he learned about Gary Vee by like watching him and getting inspired through his phone by watching videos of Gary. And I was going somewhere with that.
So you're going to make him phone.
What Gary said in this other thing, I was just thinking like of all of his quotes right now. He talks about don't like wait for brands to start sponsoring you. It's so this relates to us because of like what we do with the water, how we kind of jokingly talk about sparkling water.
Can you hand me the water and we can officialize this? Today's unofficial sponsorship of Nouns on the Ground is brought to you by Coca-Cola and Waterloo, two totally different companies. And Sheffo will be drinking this one.
There's a beverage out there for everybody. But he says, don't wait for them to ask you or sponsor you. He's like, start putting their products in your videos. Yeah. He's like, it's actually the opposite, but that's what we do. Yeah. And like, we do that on purpose. I'm always wearing like, this is a GM Friends. Like this is a different, NFT company I found. Like I've told you guys a million times, if you see me out in the wild, like give me your NFT merch. Like I will be wearing it. I wore the barbershop shirt yesterday. Like there's all these like really fun ways that I feel like we could just bring in. Yes. How we could just bring in brands together, because what I also know to be true in this attention economy, which is definitely a term being thrown around. That's the hot term right now, attention economy, because of everything happening on crypto Twitter. We can get into all of that again as well. It has everything to do with what we were kind of talking about yesterday. Yeah. But I don't know.
It's a battle for attention.
It's a battle for attention.
It's a DAO, you're battling against other builders. Whether it's a DAO versus a DAO, you're battling for, and if ETH to come into your DAO versus the other DAO. Like, and it creates, it's like a healthy competition. A lot of times competition is literally designed to create, you know, levels, and then the really good ones are at the top. And so it kind of helps audiences understand. You know, someone had posted on Twitter the other day, 4-1 had posted something, someone posted, but like, then we kind of like got to this, you know, understanding of like, well, maybe there could be a DAO score like you see on Dex tools and things like this. And yeah, I think that is super interesting, where you could have, you know, 10 or 20 different, you know, indicators that kind of build into that score, and then projects get scored like that. But
that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, in the attention economy, you have to start being creative about these tools that do sort of shine light on people and encourage people to continue to gain that attention in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Because even in the attention economy, think about the brands. Like, how many people are asking them to like, hey, want me to be an influencer for you? Like, it's more, you know, would catch my eye if you were like the company and like someone just started like including you in their stuff. It's almost like this natural thing that's happening. You're already doing it. It's just like with Nouns, you know, when we first came in, the prop house and stuff, it's like proliferate and just do it. And like you can get retro rewarded.
Well, you see, like I get these hotel TikToks that come into my TikTok, like Marriott, I think is one. And
yeah, I
you
see
know,
the Hilton ones.
Hilton, you know, and it's usually like a young couple at a hotel doing various different activities around the hotel, and then they're filming themselves and they put it together in a little 20-second clip that we're all used to seeing. But that's my point, is that they're pretty much going to make that content anyway, because we like to show off and show people what we're doing. And so brands are now realizing that, like, okay, let's just give them the free hotel room. They already are expert content makers. We don't have to hire an ad agency. We literally give this cute, adorable couple a hotel room, and they'll make us a viral video.
Oh, it's influencers, yeah.
100%. And it just really comes
Travel
down.
influencers is a whole thing.
So, like, individuals are learning to mix brands into their content ahead of time, and brands are looking for individuals that are like kind of already doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like
so
creative
it
already.
really is like a symbiotic thing that's kind of definitely, I kind of think it's a, you know, it's pretty much a TikTok phenomenon. I don't really think, I mean, you would kind of see other people working in that way, but for the most part, like, yeah, people are competing for attention. And so if they know that, okay, if I do this thing about, if I go on my TikTok and I make this funny video about Coca-Cola, at least all these like Coca-Cola maxis out there are gonna like it and thumbs up it and whatever.
Well, more than likely, the brand itself would actually comment on it.
Yeah.
And say like, wow.
Well, yeah, exactly. Or it could be any other major like food brand or clothing.
Well, because most brands have like taken on a personality that you know happens in their social media accounts, because there is like, you know, especially like Gen Z, I know for sure, and like we're kind of like, we're so used to it, but Gen Z and stuff like hates being marketed to. It has to feel just like an experience. You're just watching something cool.
That's what they
You're
say.
not being like told.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole different vibe. You have to be like a cool thing. So maybe you're posting like relevant, cool content to people and stuff. Like they don't want like the second like it feels like an ad, like they're out.
No, definitely.
Unless it's just like entertaining.
No, absolutely. It has to be creative for sure.
And I think they want authenticity. Like we know this from, it's crazy that you know this, but it's because I talked about it all the time. But like the mascara gate, you know, with the Michaela on TikTok.
I know about mascara gate, folks.
Well, you know, an influencer kind of tested out this mascara and got called out for it because like it clipped, and then all of a sudden it looked like
totally
she had
fake
false lashes on, and was called out by it a ton, has never addressed it. And then the partner for the mascara kind of like, they just have never addressed it. But like that showing too, like people will call out inauthentic things like immediately.
Yeah.
Like people don't want to be lied to. Like that'd be so weird. And I think that this attention economy is also demanding that the people who are getting the most attention be authentic, because what you don't want to happen is what happened with, I think, Ben.eth this week of, people are saying he should run a master class on the attention economy, and he's gained over 30,000 Twitter followers in just the last couple of days. But what you don't want to happen is then you get all that attention and then people feel like you're not authentic. And then that this is not some type of authentic experience. And then it just looks like you're just trying to get attention.
Well, I yes and no. I mean, I think that like authenticity is one thing, but like quality is another thing. Like he's authentically a shit show. And so like people are authentically following him to watch. And so like
people like drama.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's proven to us. Like
just because you're getting a following doesn't mean it's for the right reason.
But dude, like look at all the television that's out there. Like reality TV, every reality TV is drama, fear fact, humans eating bugs. I don't know, like crazy competition shows.
Have you ever eaten a bug up, Toshi?
No. Crazy like competition shows. Like it's stuff that's like gets your adrenaline going. Like even like the love shows and dating shows are all that. It's just pure drama. And like those dating shows are really not really about the people that end up staying together. It's all the drama in between of everyone that doesn't. So people like that.
So is crypto Twitter.
Oh my God. So is we've done this kind of like search often because we are shooting a documentary where we're kind of talking about this whole bigger picture and story after we've been on our travels and going around to conferences and talking to people about this industry. But we've been looking on every site. Go right now. Just do this exercise. Go to Netflix, go to Amazon, go to Hulu, HBO Max. Just look up the documentary section. Go straight to the documentary section and tell me what you see. Because I will tell you that it's going to be 96% murder stories, murder mysteries, serial killer. Who's this? Guilty or not? And then like it's all men and stuff. Like no offense, there's a point to this, but like there's no like inspiring
I'm good.
stories about that. And like anyone inspiring or some things about somebody. Like the only time you're like seeing a woman on there too is like, and we were specifically looking for that because we have met a lot of incredible female founders. There is already kind of a stigma in this industry. It's a joke kind of thrown out around a lot. Like, well, where are all the women? So we were kind of just doing research because we are, I am a female voice in the space. So it's just natural that we're like looking at these documentaries, like, okay, how many involve women? What is the content of each of these things that people want to watch? It's all murder mystery. And like the only time a woman is featured is when she's a dead body. Literally go check yourself. It is like the wildest thing. Like by the time I got to Hulu and like was going to all the different ones, I was just screaming. Like it's hilarious. But it kind of also shows like they must have done some type of market test. Like people love the drama. Like people love like murder. Like people love like not that they love murder, but they like I feel like looking into the mind of a serial killer. Like what does that look like? It's so romanticized.
There's definitely producers and directors out there that know that is like easy to to sensationalize.
Yes.
And easy to pretty much like people a lot of people live in fear. And so like they'll watch documentaries so that they feel like safer because they know how something happened, so maybe they can avoid it happening to them or something like this.
Well, and with this like ETH Ben and PSYOP token thing, like I will admit, like if you've been following my Twitter and stuff, like I haven't participated at all, but I have participated in the attention part because during the launch and like before the launch and when people were interviewing him in Twitter Spaces or when he was on Thread Guy Space, when BitBoy was on Thread Guy Space, like I'm in those spaces listening because I want to hear what these guys have to say. I'm interested in like trying to learn more and take in information, but that at that point in time, if someone like looks at my Twitter, it says I'm in that space. So then it's like, well, could that be perceived as like I'm a part of the problem because I'm like participating with it? But also like I couldn't help myself. Like I had to know what was going on. I also think like since we have the stream, it's important for us to kind of like know what's like the hottest thing right now.
I do see it in different ways. I mean, literally at one point, like Rand Newer was from Crypto Banter was in different rooms and stuff. And like people are in rooms to listen to founders' voices,
it's wild.
Because being in the room also gives you the real-time information. You don't even have to wait like 30 minutes until it comes out and the space recording ends and it goes out. Like being in the room live is being in the room live.
And yes, It is true because it's almost like, and then you like look around at the other people in the room, and some people, you feel like are bringing value to the industry. Other people you're not so sure about, and like sometimes you'll see rooms where you're just like, I can't believe me and this person are in the same room, like literally in one of Thread Guy's spaces with BitBoy, who now these people. This is just such a I don't feel like one person would be teaching the masterclass on the attention economy. I feel like we all should just be looking at this whole thing and be like, what is going on? Like Beeple, the artist, has now made artwork about these person. Like they are being sensationalized. And they are kind of doing some not great stuff. But like in the BitBoy Thread Guy room, Billy McFarland was in the room. I was literally like in Twitter spaces, you might as well like look over to your left and right, like you're in an actual room with these people. The founder of Firefest, he was in the room listening to a BitBoy talk about fucking Ben Token. It was the craziest, trippiest thing ever. I literally even DM'd Thread Guy. I was like, what? Billy McFarland is in this room, like what is happening? And then Billy McFarland's now tweeting like he wants to throw Firefest too. And he's floating that idea around and he's ready to pay everybody back. You guys, he went to prison for years because he fraudulently took people's money and promised them this thing. And I don't know how much of that was his fault or an entire team or whatever's going on, but like it's crazy to navigate and it's really important to talk about because if you're going to onboard people into this industry like how we do, and if you're going to have the serious conversations with all the potential about this industry with people, this is the kind of shit that literally makes people think in just one sentence like NFTs are scams, crypto's a scam. And it's like, what's hard for them to wrap their mind around? Like, well, where is the positives and the benefits unless you really do a deep dive and see, like we'll talk about in a little bit here, like amazing things communities are doing, just like Pudgy Penguins and like creative things people are doing. But then like this shit happens. And then all of a sudden I'm in a room with BitBoy talking and I have no idea if everything he's saying sounds crazy. I'm sitting next to fucking Billy McFarland from Firefest. And I'm like, what? And I just like, it feels like crazy land. And for some reason, I can't turn away. Well, I can't stop listening. I can't not look at the fucking PSYOP token to see what happened. Like, I can't stop reading tweets about this stuff. And so it is kind of important to like, recognize that, I think, because it is important to see like where you're going to put your time,
I would rather be in the know than not in the know. And
I also would rather be in the know.
And I do think it's kind of like our job to be in the know.
Yes.
As a founder, with FOODNOUNS and things, I'm always like trying to learn different ways that people are rolling things out or getting attention or new technological things.
Mm-hmm.
So you really do have to be out there beyond your own world.
Yes.
Yeah, and then obviously if you own the asset that is being spoken about, then you have to treat that differently.
Yes. I agree.
Even if you don't own the asset and you talk about it publicly, you have to treat that in the correct way because they are financial products. Which, that is what it is. That's a like a different conversation in a way. It's a weird one because it's like, let's say you buy a Porsche. A Porsche is kind of like a non-fungible Porsche. That's one Porsche. That Porsche will always be that Porsche, right? And so it's like from the second that thing leaves the factory to the dealership, to off the dealership, to a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, 15 years later, 50 years later, that item, that Porsche, will go up and down in value depending on the market, how good it does, what Porsche does to make that thing have value over the years. And so in a way, it's like we're allowed to, anybody's allowed to shit their opinion about the price of a Porsche. Anybody's allowed to talk about whether they think the Porsche is good, who has the most Porsches. I have this Porsche and I'm better than you. Whatever. You're allowed to say anything you want about Porsche and it's not illegal, but it still costs you money and it still has a fluctuating market value. So it's like, how is that not a financial product? Like, how is an NFT like any different? Why are we not allowed to talk about these things? and so they're NFTs in particular, because they're non-fungible, are slightly different. I'm not enough of like a tokenomics master to fully tie the knot there as to why like coins and the fungibility of coins are technically different. There are similarities as far as like pretty much you can use the smart contracts in the deployment and you can say, you know, these amount of tokens at this price, you know, yada yada. Like, so there are some similarities.
Yada yada.
But there are differences, and I'm not going to pretend to be able to explain those differences. But
Well, I think
it is a gray area that we are in right now.
Well, there's some gray areas, but there's some pretty clear areas.
We're forced to call these financial products, whereas some people think NFTs are literally just artwork. And you're allowed to talk about like the price of a Van Gogh. No one is like giving you a hard time for speculating on the price of a Van Gogh, or having a podcast and saying, you know, we're going to talk about this Van Gogh going to the moon. Like, no one, that's not illegal, to my knowledge. So, I mean,
it's so obvious, like, where I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to pretend to know anything beyond, like, just what I've witnessed and stuff, too. But there's no way that there's any, like, legal way that it's possible legally for him to have received all of those funds.
Probably not.
In
and I said
a
that,
hot wallet.
I said that yesterday. I've said that consistently.
Well, and, you know, the launch did happen yesterday when we were talking about this. It was a little bit of a different thing. Everyone was kind of still at this point of like, well, let the launch happen. It was supposed to happen. Then it was supposed to launch at 4:20 Mountain Standard Time. And then 4:30 happens, 4:40, 4:50. And like, it's not launching. And then it finally launches. And I think there's even currently right now a fake token that's getting tons of traction on it. And like, I don't know what's going on. The liquidity pool, everyone is saying, is messed up. People weren't airdropped the appropriate amount of tokens. People are saying they're owed 10 times more.
It's so messed up. I can't even figure out what has happened.
Ben is tweeting like, calm down. You're going to get your tokens.
Oh my God.
Calm down. You're going to get your tokens. Imagine something being live and someone being like, I don't even know how to make a real life fucking comparison to that. Like,
it's super bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
It's not good. People are really upset.
It doesn't help, and it takes away, even now on our podcast, it takes away time from good things.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like this is why I do think it's important to talk about all different sides of the attention economy.
I always agree.
Because I totally agree with you. And that's what,
I'm usually the one who's being a little bit of the Debbie Downer, you know? And
well, I don't think I'm being a Debbie Downer. We're just talking about this like wild thing that's happening. It's the hottest thing happening right now in crypto Twitter. Like everybody is talking about this, whether or not we like this project or this person. There are millions of tweets. It's completely viral.
Yep.
People's done 2 freaking art pieces on this guy. The most recent one being like an army of slaves basically under this big monkey with a freaking crown, like holding up a piece of crap, like the poop emoji. Like it is culturally relevant to everything that's happening right now. It's meaningful because other people kind of just did like throw in, but like what we won't focus on is the fact that like everyone was kind of sufficiently warned that this was not like standard procedure for anything.
Almost immediately from
the get-go.
He started the experiment, from before there was even like $1 million transferred to him.
Before any money was transferred.
People were really
the BitBoy and his deal to take over Bencoin hasn't happened. Like,
well, actually, to be fair though, I think it's almost like when BitBoy came into the Bencoin and then did whatever and started that, and he claims via, if you listen back to Thread Guy's interviews, he claims that he knew that Ben.eth was going to do another token.
Yes.
Pretty much like even during his exit period from the first one.
He knew another project was happening.
But he claims to not have known that it was happening so quickly, whatever so quickly means.
Same day. They tweeted in like 2 hours later after the first tweet. He said, next project, follow me, notifications on.
My point, though, is that they're actually, by the time that this person, Ben.eth, tweeted that and started asking for people to send money, there was no, like, it was, Ben token was somewhat kind of under the radar. Like, people were still distracted, like trying to figure out what BitBoy's involvement was in it. And so that when this kid did this, I'm assuming he's a kid, there was like this instantaneous influx and shift to the point where it just kind of started the snowball rolling down the hill. And there really wasn't like a ton of time for this like organized FUD to rightfully start to happen. And so then all of a sudden it was 1 million, and then it was 2 million, and then people start being, oh my God. And then there's FOMO. And then all of a sudden there's 50,000 tweets. And so then it's in everyone's timeline. And then there's unsophisticated people coming in and thinking that they're going to turn.
Well, and flat out promises about like when things are actually going to happen. And then like things being pushed back for like one day, 2 days, a week.
Not to mention like the engagement from the actual account, Ben.eth, on the experiment, like pretty much saying that it's happening. So like there was definitely no slowdown on his part.
Yep.
Like it started in a very quick way to the point where once it started, it kind of couldn't stop. And so then crypto Twitter, all of it, we just find ourselves in the middle of this thing, $7 million into this thing.
Yeah, and people are like, this is either a genius or a crazy person.
And anybody with a normal brain is looking at this like it's just like has a neon sign that says wrecked.
Yeah, like do not get involved in this.
Go get wrecked is pretty much like, and it's just like they should have literally made that the banner for Ben.eth on his Twitter, get wrecked, because that's what
the logo for the coin is, a Pokemon. It's literally a Pokemon.
So then, and again, I guess this is entertaining or whatever. I don't know. But so then someone started like a fake token, fake liquidity pools, while this person, Ben.eth, is pretty much failing at their deployment and having all sorts of like issues and delays, whether it was on purpose or not. And then pretty much like people or scammers are watching this scam.
Yes.
And they're planning on scamming the scam because they already know that there's like so many gullible people involved. And all it takes is literally the same token name or something similar, setting up a liquidity pool. Then it pops into DEX tools. It starts trending. And, that supposedly that coin did like a big X.
Like 87X.
And I haven't looked at, but it's just kind of like, that is crazy, dude, that like there was already this problem and then someone took the problem and capitalized on the problem. And then the thing that got capitalized upon is on some level looks more normal. Like if you look at the chart or if you look at the logo or whatever, like, dude, it's so bad on top of so bad on top of so bad.
Dude, and that's why like it is important to talk about, because if someone's going to enter this industry, you got to know that like we might be also shocked that this thing is existing right now in this place that we've kind of been, but like it's important to know the whole 360 of like everything that's happening.
Well, again,
and like the hotter things that are happening too, so you can be more aware and so you can be a better person like in this space.
Well, and so then you can also balance your risk. Like if you have this burning desire to go play with shit coins, like, and I'm not saying, and believe me, like there are legitimate people in the crypto space, people who we know, we're not gonna name names, like who deal and trade shit coins, more than likely from anonymous wallets. And so it's like, if you want to go do that, if you have this desire to try and do that, like obviously like your risk factors are crazy high, and there's strategies on how to do it. And I'm not going to go into that, but we are fortunate that, we get to live in the other side of crypto and NFTs where
there's structure,
from the second
governance,
from the second you win the bid, you have utility on your NFT. The second it hits your wallet, you have utility. There's like ecosystems of doxed people, undoxed people. There's ecosystems of people that are spending like vast amount of time together so that you can like build social capital. You can build your reputation in the environment.
Yeah, people are getting like a lot of traction kind of from this last week, from these interviews, for doing
Yeah.
like spaces around them. Like I was just in a space this morning, there was 900 people. And they're like, whoa, like we're here all the time. But like we know that there's so many people in here right now because the word psyop of that coin was in the space title and stuff. And so everyone's going to be talking about this. I think it's important to like hear from everybody. But I agree with you and think it's a great segue into the reason why we throw our support behind certain communities, and our main one, of course, being Nouns. And so we are at the top of the hour here live from Indianapolis, Indiana, here at VeeCon.
Lucas Oil Stadium.
It's right behind Sheffo back there, Lucas Oil Stadium. We're going to be
We're
going
going to be walking there
right there after this live stream in about 1 hour. I'm really excited. But this is all possible because of Nouns. And so Nouns is one of those good guys that we were talking about.
Yep.
There's structure, there's utility, there's governance, there's community voting. Like it's really exciting, and people can get their ideas funded on there. You guys know from these live streams, sometimes we go over those proposals. Sometimes we go over and like look a little bit more into the proposer. We've been doing tons of IRL events. You guys have come along on that journey with me through my social media. If you haven't followed me yet, our handles are right across our head. Twitter's probably the best place, YouTube, and then Instagram. I've started doing some really cool stuff, and I'm back in on there too. But you will see all of these events and hopefully get to experience some of the things the way that we do. And if you want to know more about my particular proposal that was funded within Nouns, you can go to nouns.wtf/vote/206. We are proposal 206, Nouns on the Ground 2023.
Cool, dude.
So we're going to all these different events, and then I will just like really quickly pull up. Let me just switch to our cameras right now. Nouns.wtf. There it is. Where am I? Oh, here we go. Hi. Oh, you're right there. Can you see her? Are you centered there? Yes. Okay, this is Nouns.wtf. There's one auction every single day, and all of the proceeds go into the treasury, which funds the builders and the different props that I was talking about. Okay, let's go. This is amazing. So it's this amazing skateboard Noun, the yellow skateboard. Currently has a top bid of 25 ETH.
Cool.
Let's freaking go.
Nice.
And then once that goes down, people can put in proposals. We're really excited for this proposal to get funding. I also wanted to say big congrats to the Nouns wet wipes. Let's freaking go.
There you go.
Huge. I'm so happy we like streamed about you guys. I obviously need a pack, and
We're
we'll
gonna
be very excited.
need some packs.
Excuse me. What is this?
Clem's pass or prop.
Yes. Big Shot Toy Works. Let's freaking go. And with an astounding freaking 4 vote, I'm so proud and so excited for you, Big Shot. So big congrats to you.
I was the one who queued the proposal yesterday. It was ready to queue, and it was like $10.
Oh, yay. Oh, I was like nervous to click on this, but I'm so excited that I did. It looks like this vote ends in 3 hours, but Nounish.
Yep, gonna pass.
Gonna pass. And another 6 months with Nounish is just the most exciting thing I could think of.
Yep.
Let's see. So there are tons of different props here, you guys. Make sure you check that out at nouns.wtf/vote. We love talking about noun stuff. The other Nounish thing that you can get involved in right now. Maybe we could watch some of these, but there was this $200,000 video contest, you guys. We watched all of the entries the other day, the other live stream a couple of weeks ago for 2 days. We watched every single video that had entered into this. 10 of those videos were chosen by a council and then put up here for vote, and the vote just ended 2 hours ago. 4 people have won $50,000 each. Wait.
Yeah, that's an air horn.
Dude, 50 grand.
Wow.
For a video.
Incredible.
Pencil pushing. Shout out to Mr. Seeks.
Let's
freaking go. Through the Looking Noggles. Ooh. I don't know. We watched that. That is the pizza person. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Winning over game developers. Okay, hello. Personal shout out to Sam. Let's go. I have been retweeting and getting really excited about Sam. We've talked about her on the stream before. This person is just so awesome, and she's really leading the way for introducing nouns as CC0 assets in video game development. So big, huge congrats to you. And then the birth of a new noun. I'm dying laughing that this is one of the winners, because this video made me laugh so hard. It was a physical noun being born, with all the screaming and the pushing that you might experience during noun child labor. Wow. 50 grand each. Let's freaking go, dude. Should we watch these?
Sure. It's $200,000 worth of videos.
Let's watch this. Let's freaking go. Oh, we're gonna get some ads. Oh no, this is not. Oh, it just started way early. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
The intro.
This was the number one.
Yeah, the intro is funny on this one. Good.
Hey, Excel spreadsheet guy. No, I'm in your screen. Yeah. Want to get out of this cubicle sweatshop? Put them on. Trust me. Welcome to the Nouniverse. Wow, that was so dramatic. But all the people here have found out how to do what they love with their ideas funded by Nouns. And without sounding like a tech visionary expert, the possibilities are endless. This guy funded his own skate brand. She powered a cleanup of her entire city. And this guy, let's not worry about this guy. Yeah, he's put steroids in his funding. We need to look into it. But the point is, you can create anything here. Nouns is an open source brand with $50 million in their treasury. There's plenty to go around for anyone from anywhere.
Love it.
Wow.
So come on, let's finally fund that dinosaur taco holder range you've been thinking about. Woo! Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's get Twitter. Let's get you on Twitter.
That was good.
Dude, that was so good. Let's freaking go. Congrats. The number one winner. Through the looking noggle. Here we go. We'll just kind of go through these. Oh, yes, I remember this.
Hey, let's make it nounish. Got an idea that's really great, but don't have enough ether? Well, we've got the cash. Now Style can fund your cash. From Frost to Whiskey, we've seen it all. So come on, we'll have a ball. Nouns,
Wow.
nouns, what a funny name.
Oh, yeah, and they have their own song. I remember this.
That is our game, and I want you to know,
Love this song,
without a
dude.
doubt, noggles are what it's all about. So if you've got a genius plan in mind, sports, art, or food, don't get left behind. Just pitch your prop to Nouns, they'll lend a hand. And don't forget your noggles, that's the brand. Nouns, nouns, what a funny name. Funding all ideas, that is our game. And I want you to know, without a doubt, noggles are what it's all about.
Dude, this is so good. Nanish Pizza. Wow. You guys, I'm so impressed by all of you. That was really cool.
All right.
Okay, let's see.
CCO, isn't that a zero?
Yay.
We don't talk about that.
I love this one.
The greatest invention known to the digital age. CCO stands for No Rights Reserved. When you go on the internet and you try to use any sort of content, usually there's a license associated with it that restricts its use. And usually for full use, you have to pay a certain amount upfront for that commercial use license. And these rules were created by the Creative Commons nonprofit organization.
I love this one
And
because
these
it's like a
copyright
lot of
licenses
information that's really
are
good
meant to
with the
protect
focus on
creators
CC0.
and create a sustainable future of ownership in the digital age. However, within this complex web of copyright laws, there exists a very, very special categorization that allows the complete free use of a work. And that's where we come in. CCO, or No Rights Reserved, completely waive any copyright regarding the work, meaning you're free to use it in any project, you're free to build upon it, and there are no
That is a Nouns like
restrictions
crazy
on
taxi game she
commercial
made.
use.
It's so
And
cool.
A lot of the good benefactors of the internet have decided to release their works under this license so that you can benefit from it and make your awesome game idea or vision come to life. For the love of the game dev gods, do not start with an MMORPG. So I'm going to show you some CCO assets that you can use freely within
And
your
it's good to
game,
bring
and
gamers
all
in.
these will be
It's like a
available
huge
in
audience
the
that needs to come in.
description. Starting off with Kenny's game assets. So I met Kenny personally at Unite 2022, and he's an awesome dude who publishes a
Oh my
ton of
God.
free 2D and 3D assets completely CCO. You got 2D tiles, isometric packs, models, UI
Cool.
textures, sound
Very
effects,
cool.
and he even made software called Asset Forge and Kenny Shape where you can even create your own models really easily. I feel
Ooh.
like I'm cheating. Oh wow, that was easy. Next up we have Nouns. Now this is an interesting community run experiment, and it features cute pixel characters where all of the assets and the projects coming out of this group are copyright free. And I recently used their 3D Nouns
Oh my
characters,
God.
which you can get at 3dnouns.com, in my Crazy Driver game. And because they already had an existing community, I was able to immediately leverage their community and get feedback and players straight away. They also have a sound playground where you can create CCO
Oh
sounds
yeah, she
using
shouts out a bunch of
generated
people.
tunes
That's
at
sick.
nounsounds.wtf, along with an existing library of sounds. But it doesn't stop there. If you thought this video was only going to be about CCO assets, then you were wrong. Because this group also helps fund projects if you submit a good proposal and get approved. They have a $50 million treasury, and they recently funded an animated sprite sheet and asset assembler for $37,000 Roonies. Wow, that's a lot. So if you have a good idea and have what it takes, go check out their assets and their site so you can potentially also get funding in your project. Next we have Polyhaven, which is a
That was a
3D
great. And it's
asset
great to like
library
mix it in with a bunch
hundreds
of ones.
textures,
Yeah.
models,
This is sick
and
too.
high resolution HDRIs for lighting, and they are all free of use. Next up we have the pinnacle of user generated content on the internet, OpenGameArt and itch.io. In OpenGameArt, users can upload 2D, 3D textures, sound effects. However, when searching for assets, you want to be sure to select the CCO filter to
This is so
ensure you
good.
are browsing for copyright-free
feel like
content.
I'm learning.
And some licenses can be different on that site, as well as on itch.io, where you must select the CCO filter, and when you click on an asset you can scroll down to more information, view the license type, and you can click on that license to view other
So
assets
clear.
under
She's
the
a
same
great,
license. You'll want to look
like,
for something
YouTube
called
person.
Commons 0 V1 Universal. Last but not least, we have now AI generated assets, which are currently considered CCO, but as always, just be careful and check the licenses as usual and be up to date. I personally created a site called pixela.ai, shameless plug,
Cool.
where you can browse and upload different seamless textures generated with Stable Diffusion to use in your game. There are also others like
Sick.
Scenario GG and Leonardo.ai, which is a newer platform for AI game artist tooling. Pixabay.com offers a wide range
know
of
about
free
Pixabay.
stock photos, vectors, and illustrations
all free
under
photos.
CCO. Pexels.com also provides free stock photos and videos. Polyo.pizza has a collection of low poly models. Be sure to check the license on each, and this goes along with everything I'm saying. Check the license! Freesound.org lets you browse user-generated audio clips. Be sure to select the CCO license filter. And Defont.com has a ton of free public domain fonts for usage, which I always go there to get my fonts. Links for all of these sites will be in the description. See you on the next one.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool, Sam. Okay, let's get this last one, the fourth place, which is the screaming birthing of this noun.
All right, everyone, let's get ready for the birth of today's noun.
Wait, no, what? Huh? Do we know what traits the community wants for this one?
It looks like they'll get a chance to vote in a few minutes at FOMONouns.wtf.
Oh, that sounds perfect. Let's make sure everything is set up for a smooth birth.
All right, folks, it's time to choose the specific noun that will become today's NFT. Here are the candidates. And the winner is Lightning Head. Woo!
Yeah,
Cool.
yippee! Congratulations!
Congratulations to everyone who voted for today's noun. All right, it looks like we have a winner. Let's get this baby minted and ready for auction.
What is going on? Who's auctioning my baby?
Okay, it's time to push. Push. Push it. Push it real good. Push. Almost there.
Oh my goodness.
It's here! Our new noun has arrived!
Perfect. Now let's get it auctioned off to the highest bidder.
You can't take my baby!
And we have a bidding war going on for this beautiful noun NFT. Who will be the lucky owner? You, sir. You, sir. You, ma'am. You, sir. You, ma'am. You. Going once, going twice. And the winner is Mr. Crypto Billionaire. Congratulations on your new acquisition.
Ah, a another successful NFT birth. It's always such a joy to see these little guys find a new home.
Indeed. And who knows what traits the community will choose for tomorrow's NFT? It's always an exciting surprise. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at FOMONouns.WTF.
Crazy.
Cool. You guys. I am so impressed with everybody. We'll go back here before going to that page. Wow. Dude, every single person behind each of those 4 videos just won $50,000 because of Nouns DAO. That was an initiative and a contest that they had put up. That was a prop funded through the on-chain governance that you can see in Nouns DAO at nouns.wtf/vote, which you guys have now seen so many times because we love going over the different props and kind of that process in general. It's a great way to onboard builders into the ecosystem. And we also kind of started in Prop House ourselves too. So really cool to see that they're being funded through a Prop House.
Very cool. That was amazing. And I love that we highlighted all of them like before and after.
Yeah, I do too. Like we almost could like stitch that and like send it to those people. It's really cool. You know, to see people who are creating within Nouns and how creative everybody is. And I do feel like those 4 videos were kind of great. And especially when you watch them in a row like that, like they all were like unique animations.
Well, 3 of them were more advertisement animation. And then there was the one CC01 that was more like educational narrative.
Yeah, that was really great. And like
the filmmaking one, like, or like the motorcycle one. I mean, I personally think that should have been in there, but
yeah, I hear you. There was so many good entries, you guys. I was looking through to see like which of the 10 made it. I'm not sure like what that process was like. I know that there was a committee choosing it, but if your video did not make it to the top 10, or if you didn't win that as one of the top 4 prizes, like I would totally just encourage you to keep creating. Like I think most of the videos that we saw had reached the 2,000 view minimum.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they did, or we wouldn't have covered them. Or I mean, we started to cover.
We covered them to give them views, to help them.
Yeah, for sure.
Or to like help promote like their video so that they could have a chance to be in the top 10 by getting those minimum of 2,000 views. But yes, I would just encourage you to like keep reaching out. Use it as a moment. I'm sure that everybody who made videos has been like meeting new Nounish people in the ecosystem. Keep doing that. I filled my first 3 prop houses before I started getting very involved within Nouns. So it's just a reminder to keep going. Platforms like us within the Nouns ecosystem love highlighting builders all the time too. So more than likely, if you're out there creating and I see you on YouTube or something, like we'll probably be sharing your video.
Yeah.
Because we always have like a little bit of a longer Nouns segment happening too. But we are still live. Indianapolis, Indiana.
The town of the 500.
The town of of VeeCon this year and of
Rubbin is racing.
The Indianapolis 500. Have you ever been to that race?
We only turn left.
Have you been to that race?
I have not. I've been to races at the raceway in Richmond where I'm from, and so I have.
Have you ever been to a NASCAR race?
These were Bush League. I don't think I've ever been to NASCAR.
It's intense.
Yeah.
I've been one time.
Yeah.
As like a child. It was so hot.
Yeah.
It was so hot. It was so loud. I had not anticipated like how loud it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like I would never go back without like headphones. I know that sounds so lame, but
oh no, you got to be rigged up and ready to go, or you just it's brutal.
But it's just so many people. It's always cool like to see all the people like camping out in the center, like with the motorhomes and stuff. Good times. I have not been to the Indianapolis 500 either.
No.
So
no, I'm sure it's about to get crazy here.
Yes, it takes over the town. But just like how
I wonder where
VeeCon's kind of taken over.
I have to look on a map to see where the racetrack is in regards to where we are.
It's really cool. So when you go into the downtown, like obviously right behind Sheffo is the Lucas Oil Stadium. There's this whole outside day event that was happening, and then the concert in the amphitheater in this state park that's like kind of just right across the street from Lucas Oil Stadium. But once you start getting over there, it's all the hotels where VeeCon had all of these deals. You start seeing the big, large advertisements for VeeCon on the side of hotels. Pillars are wrapped. Like it feels very like a whole little VeeCon, like mini kind of amusement park down there.
You know, they are the event that is the hot ticket in town right now. And
totally.
Yeah, they've done a good job of getting the vibe connected with the event. I think Indianapolis is a cool place. I think that
There's pins, like there's pin trading. It's very much like an amusement park. Like they took it straight from the Disney playbook.
Well,
like
I
there's
think VeeCon,
mascots. It's so cool.
you know, they've only done 2, but I think they were like they're kind of in these wholesome locations in a way.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't know, maybe there's something to that from like a brand perspective, It's like a little bit less crazy than like a New York or an LA or a Miami,
Mm.
And then kind of maybe that's like a brand decision. I don't know. But ultimately, Indianapolis has been really great, I think, for
Yeah.
a VeeCon location. It is
Perfect location.
one of the easiest cities that like we've been in as far as getting around. It's super easy to get around
The
here.
stadium is massive. If you guys don't already follow me on Twitter, please follow me, or Instagram, or whatever your favorite app is. Like, we will be posting from the inside of the stadium as soon as we end this live stream. I was thinking we might even end like 10 minutes earlier just so we can have a chance to get over there. We are meeting up with a Nounish friend, Mackie.
You're the
Gonna
boss,
pass off
Outsish.
some paper noggles, which we're really excited about. And then we've been kind of like taking out like this little set of amount of noggles every time and giving them to our little neighbors in the amphitheater or to other people who are taking photos. Oh, you forgot who else you met yesterday who we got in noggles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We met the team who is doing the Fly Fish restaurant, which is Gary's NFT restaurant
Yep.
project.
Very cool.
And he has a really spectacular team of people. They are restaurateurs, chefs, business people. And I had met them. I had kind of been paying attention for a while and then had a chance to first meet the squad in New York. And we got a picture. And then I was in the men's room yesterday and recognized
Like, hey, I know you.
David. Yeah, and then I was just like, I said hi and started talking, and the chef was outside, and so yeah, I had my pouches of noggles. We
Yes.
we
Took an epic
denoggled
photo.
and got a really epic photo. So for me, that was like a great highlight. And I have a goal of figuring out a way to kind of work with that group. From like a Food Nouns perspective, I think it could be amazing to have different Food Noun scholarships.
Wow.
Yeah, like what if there was a funded
I love that.
person that went and worked at their restaurant?
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, so it was cool to see them. It was neat to just kind of feel like a reconnection with leaders in the industry. And obviously they're like tapped into Gary's team. That was why they were at the event and the whole thing. And so very cool stuff.
Dude, it's so great because like there's a lot of great people around. We also met these other people. We won't go into too much detail because I don't want to like give up the goods before, but like being in the front row at the concert
sure.
too, like tons of different people, like a couple different
Exciting.
influencers who we were all talking to, like they were excited about the noggles. And so there's a lot of cool things that can happen when you come to these things, guys. Like I really encourage you guys to come out to events. It was really exciting to meet the one person who got their first NFT as the ticket. And didn't like, he's not like an NFT crypto event person, but he was having such a good time. And it's like, there's such a crossover in why we added social events to this OTG calendar this year, to this tour that we're doing, because it's the same type of people, guys. The people that go to like social events are the same type of people that come to these conferences. It's like everyone shares a lot of the same qualities, I find. And so like, it's these communities that would end up crossing over anyways.
Yeah.
And being a part of the people like pushing that crossover to happen is only going to continue to onboard new people in this industry, just like Gary Vee's doing.
Yep, for sure. For sure. The crossover's real. Having the VeeCon thing be centered and grounded in, the V Friends and
Yep.
Gary's ecosystem is super interesting. But yeah, there are like people representing all sorts of different projects here. And, I think I think both will grow. Like Gary's ecosystem will grow and people will come specifically to interface with his ecosystem.
Yep.
And other projects will come to interface with that audience. and
It's really exciting.
it's kind of an NFT event. It's kind of a lifestyle event. It's kind of it's
It's a celebration, and
it's
it's like a
kind of-
gathering of a community.
Well, and it's kind of like a motivational speaker retreat thing, like,
Amusement park.
yeah,
There's pin trading. There's mascots walking around. It's really fun.
yeah, definitely.
Like I'm chomping at the bit to kind of go back over there today. Get to do the stadium part. Like I said, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll be posting all day from there, just like fun photos of what it looks like inside. But it's epic, and I feel fortunate to get to be part of this opportunity. I also took the opportunity of Gary Vee following me to tweet about how I also speak at conferences. The woman in line, like how you said, recognized me from NFT Paris.
Yep.
I said, okay, thank you so much. Like she recognized the jumpsuit, and I make this joke that like on stage at NFT NYC this year, like if you know me, like yes, I promise I wear different clothes. Like I have different clothing because I always wear this tracksuit, sort of like one of the pieces, at least one of the days that I'm out at these conferences, with the hopes that like at least that image will like burn in people's minds. And so her recognizing me kind of proved that. So that was freaking awesome. And it's cool to kind of just like be vibing with all the people here. Oh, what I was trying to get to was that I then like tweeted after Gary Vee followed me like, hey, like a screenshot of me talking at NFT NYC.
Yeah.
Like I love talking about decentralized communities. Like I jump at the chance to do this. Like please, maybe there's like room for me next year at VeeCon. And then it looks like, let me see if I get the account. I think it's a account. Like this is a correct account. It's like Vayner Speakers. And then it's connected to VaynerX, and then VaynerX, like they had really cool videos of Gary. So I'm like, this must be legit. But yeah, Vayner Speakers like retweeted that. So that is what it's all about, folks. Like coming to the places where there's opportunities to meet anybody who's like someone you could look up to, or anyone even like working next to us in this industry. Like I look up to those people. Like anyone trying to push this forward, anyone onboarding anybody else in whatever way that they're doing that, like I look up to those people. Like I look up to people who, Charles, I look up to people like Charles because you are also at VeeCon, and then you were tuning into our live stream and saying, hey, it's like you were making that connection with us. And like now when we see each other out there at the conference, like it'll be different. Like we'll get to say, hey, like you watched the live stream this morning. So it's all about like, and I'll keep saying this over and over again, and it's one of the mantras of Burning Man, which is another event we're going to, probably the most socially driven event, and we'll talk about that, but one of the mantras is like, you have to be an active participant. You have to actively participate. Don't just go to the event and like witness it. Like participate in some way, like make connections, see opportunities when they happen and just go for it. Like we could have easily not looked at Gary, waved the noggles at him, not had the Twitter interaction, not have him follow me on Twitter. Like that could just as easily have not happened. But we so live in a world where like, even like all spirituality aside, like when I say the like word manifest, I really just mean like this knowing that if all things could maybe happen, then I'm going to fervently chase down the thing that I want to happen. Like I'm going to put power into that. I'm going to put energy into that because it's so trippy when you do think about how easily it couldn't not have happened. You know what I'm saying? But we made it happen, and like it's this amazing experience now, and it's like, I don't know, I'm just such a believer in that, like going and like powering through and not being afraid to speak to people. And
Are you also a believer?
Yes, I am.
I knew that. I just wanted to clarify for everyone. She is also a believer.
Hey, I feel like most people are believers.
Are they? I think they probably actually are these days.
Yes. People are like, will deny that they aren't.
And most people are also Swifties.
Yes. Taylor Swift should probably honestly run for president. Like she's just absolutely killing it.
She'd be hard to
talk
beat.
about attention economy.
Yeah.
The people we're talking about, nothing. Ain't got nothing.
When she releases an NFT, it is gonna.
There was on her last concert 20,000 people who weren't in the stadium. It was already sold out. 70,000 people. It's 20 extra thousand Swifties, like full dress, singing every single song outside of the stadium.
I won't even say if. I'll say when Taylor does NFT tickets. That's when NFTs become mainstream.
Oh, that would be obviously a massive onboarding experience
Mhm.
and would bring a lot of women into the space.
The next generation.
Oh man. Well, it's so crazy that it's the next generation, like, because she just did all of this like whole tour of all of her albums because like she redid all the albums because you know about the whole
Yeah.
um debacle of Scooter Braun buying her music.
Copyright issues.
So like what she's actually doing, it's like she's singing songs from like when I was like way younger, like and people were getting into Taylor Swift. It's like she's having this whole moment where she like gets to like come back out and reinvent herself, like and be everything that everyone loved her, and it's still the same age group of women or people. Like it's like, it's
like,
teens, tweens.
For me,
Like when I was a tween, Taylor was around.
like I like Taylor Swift, right? Like, and for me, like, but when I think of like Taylor Swift, it's kind of like this. It's like this thing, and I hope it's like it's not so much like a.
You better watch out. The Swifties are gonna come for you. If
Well,
you
no, I'm saying like I don't really think
Canceled by
like
the Swifties.
Taylor Swift 2023 versus Taylor Swift whatever year it was that she like kind of started. Like for me, it's like kind of all Taylor Swift. Like
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like this same thing as she's a genius. I think I saw a tweet that says she's gonna make 1 point something billion from this tour. Eras, it's all the eras of Taylor. We've lived through that. And like a whole new group of tweens
maybe
is like
I feel
getting
like
the whole
I
experience.
haven't lived like I know I have lived through it, but I haven't lived through it. And so like because
That's
I
probably
haven't lived through it, it's all.
I don't think you're her target audience.
it's all just Swift for me.
I don't think you're her target audience. I'm just gonna say that.
Hey, you never know. I'll sing some Swift songs for you.
There was a person in LA, I'll never forget, a friend of mine, where I was just like pointed at Taylor Swift on a thing. Like they made a comment, like you could line up 5 celebrities and I wouldn't know which one was Taylor Swift. And like they really didn't. And I tried it on them and like that just blew my mind. But it shows you that in attention economy, like you're still always gonna have someone who has no idea who you are,
100%.
who's never gonna meet you, who doesn't know your story, who doesn't even care. Like it's crazy. Or it's not that they don't care, it's like they don't have the opportunity to care yet, which is why it's important to go throw yourself out there. It's like why it's important for us to do these live streams all the time and then find ways to like make the videos better for people and like easier to digest and like to talk about things that relate to this moment right now and are important and relevant to all of us. Like it's important to just throw yourself out there because you never know who's kind of seeing you for the first time.
For sure.
And if you can create first time experiences, even one of those every single time you do something, like you're only growing, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, life is full of things, especially in today's world with the internet and devices. You know, there is a mass quantity of things that you can learn or watch or be involved in, more than you can ever do in one lifetime. And so, you know, that does kind of make it so that you have to decide like what you like and what you're going to spend your time with. And sometimes, algorithms decide it for us. You know, these algorithms are using multiple different elements of data and however they create their final like decision of what to serve people. Algorithms really a lot of times are making that decision for us based on, you know, cookies, different privacy things, good, bad, or otherwise. So, you know, that also has to be considered. Like, if you're all of a sudden like, oh, I'm so into blah, 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 it's like, well, how did you get into that? It's like, oh, it just started to come in my Twitter feed. So it's like, okay, so you're into this thing now, but you got into it because you were kind of just like fed it, you know, but then how else would you have found it? Maybe you really like it. And so there's good and bad to it, you know, like there's this beautiful element of discovery where you do get to discover new things, but then there's also this kind of like sheep phenomenon where we're just like a pack of sheep being told where to go. And like, yeah, you have to at different points in time sit with that and decide how that personally makes you feel. Like, are you gonna go with the flow, or are you gonna like go against the flow, or branch off and start another little river? But
I love that. Well, speaking of going with the flow, We very much operate like that. I am getting some messages. I'm dying to kind of get over back to the conference. We are meeting up with someone to do a Noggle pass off. I want to make sure we can get you guys good content. Like
you have nouns in your pants. Like ants in your pants, nouns in your that
a little different when it's not ants.
they don't pinch.
But we are excited to get going over there. So we are going to end this pod just a little bit early this time. Sometimes we're going to have
She's
to
the
do that
boss. She's
on
the boss.
days where we have events happening at the same time. As you guys know, we highlight people, places, and things from around the world every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Here we've gone 1 to 2:30 in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm really, really excited to get back over there. Make sure
This
you're
is where
following us on.
We're going Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yes, make sure you're following us so that you can see everything that we're doing and get sort of a view from inside the stadium. But as always, thank you guys. So fun. I love these live streams so much. We will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back. I can't wait. We'll
the
have so
weekend.
much more things to tell you about this conference. I know, just even from one day. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow,
See you
guys.
later.